My name is Lindy Pate, and I am a Bible translator working in Papua New Guinea. I'm also a mixed media artist. Encaustic is painting with wax. You're using beeswax and then resin, and then there's pigments that are added to that, so you have different colors of paint, but you're painting with wax. I usually start with a board, and you put down some just clear medium. I really like Encaustic because it has the unpredictability and flexibility that you find with watercolors, and I think it's really fascinating to see what happens whenever you throw a color in and heat it up and see it mix around. And sometimes it's something really beautiful and sometimes it's not, but you never know what's going to happen, and you get some beautiful effects that you never would be able to if you had control and just drew them yourself. I really love the layers and messing with the unpredictable nature of encaustics to see what comes up from that. Picking different colors and layering them on there just a little bit or an entire layer, and seeing how that begins to build up a picture. You can cut back if there's things that you want to remove, or if you want to show the layers, if you get to a place where it's so opaque that you can't see where you began. My first term on the field, I was in a long-term apprenticeship with someone who had been in Papua New Guinea since before I was born, and I was the first person to live with her. It was really good, and I learned a lot from that experience. But it was also challenging not to have a peer or someone in a similar stage of the missionary life cycle to process things with. She went on home assignment about the same time that a whole lot of other people went on home assignment, and we were a shoestring staff, and I was in town for that part, and it was just very, very lonely, and that just stirred up some things from my past that needed to be processed as well. I think I was always intrigued by visual arts, but I never felt confident to try it because I didn't have training until I got to the place where I had a lot going on internally after my first term, and I really needed to be able to process that, and that kind of gave me the push to jump off the edge and go ahead and try. And I found that it was really, really fun, and I was able to, at least initially, let go of my fears and concerns about things looking good and really just enjoy the process of playing with paint and creating as a way to express the things that I was feeling and trying to understand. The piece that I'm working on right now is a part of a series of sketches that I created through various encounters with God that were inspired by worship music. And it was a way to demonstrate the way that I felt like God's presence was ministering to me, and also my posture in relationship to Him. Another technique is to cut into the wax after you've built up a lot of layers, and then you put a color in there and you heat that so that it fuses with the wax layers that were already there, and it makes there be these really crisp lines. There's a lot of having to cut away and clean up and really sharpen the things that you're doing as part of the process. I know how valuable these things are to me, and so because of that, I've wondered if they have value for other people, that if they have been a source of encouragement and blessing for me, might they not have a similar effect for other people? Which is scary because you're taking something that comes from a very precious, intimate moment with God and putting it out there for other people to see and evaluate. I hope that there will at least be some people who, in times when they need a little bit of help, a little bit of encouragement, to be reminded of God's presence and the fact that He does want to have encounters with them, and that He loves them, and that they have had encounters with God in the past, and that they will have encounters with God again, even though they don't feel like that's the case. And I think looking at something and hearing music are ways to be reminded of what's true and what's good.
I am the Lord your God. I go before you now. I stand beside you, and I'm all around you. Though you feel I'm far away, I'm closer than your breath, and I am with